Genuine Michigan common sense on display every day.
In the shuffling madness of the locomotive breath runs the all-time loser headlong to
All right, welcome back to it. Welcome back to it. You probably heard yesterday a big decision from the United States Supreme Court. Just going to show you this whole notion that somehow the Supreme Court just couldn't function with 8 justices is complete nonsense. It seems to be functioning just fine, thank you. And in fact, in a 5-3 ruling yesterday, the Supreme Court striking down laws in Texas regarding abortion clinics that they said were just too restrictive. From Texas, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick called the ruling a devastating blow to women's safety and health. It is clip 6. Clip 6. Go.
They upheld part of the bill, which I'll talk about, but what they rejected should be troubling to every citizen because it was common sense language in legislation to protect the health of women, to protect the safety of women. I'm clearly pro-life, but if someone's going to have an abortion, I want them to have it in the safest possible environment. So we wanted a safe environment. Just meet the level of ambulatory surgical center. And the Supreme Court said no to that. The second thing they said no to was that we wanted the doctor performing the abortion to have an agreement with a hospital within 30 miles in case something happened to the woman during the procedure, that they would already have an agreement with a local hospital. And the Supreme Court said no to that. This is a devastating blow to women's safety and health. Now, in the Texas Senate, we will revisit this issue, but we will continue to focus on women's health and safety, even when having an abortion. It doesn't matter what you're in the hospital for or in a clinic for. You should have the ultimate safety standards. We're not a third world country, but the Supreme Court leftists apparently don't understand that.
All right, and there you have it. So it was a big decision, no question. And, that's one big case. Another big case we've been following, of course, is what's been going on in Baltimore. And now it looks like the entire case is falling apart. Marilyn Mosley, her approach was to apparently tell the grand jury and put people in front of the grand jury and coerce them into saying things to get these police officers indicted that, well, it turns out now might not be true. Horace Cooper is an adjunct fellow with the National Center for Public Policy Research and co-chair of Project 21's National Advisory Board. Horace, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me on.
It seems that the whole case is just falling to pieces. Am I wrong?
Well, yes, this case has fallen to pieces, and it's fallen to pieces because this case should not have been initiated. There are times when unfortunate incidents and accidents occur, and we are all saddened and dismayed, but it does not mean that a crime has occurred. The problem here is that the leadership in Baltimore was more interested in using a trial to scapegoat rather than to carry out the awesome and serious responsibilities that come when you say, I declare a felony has happened and this individual is responsible.
Would they be better off at this point saying, you know what, we're just going to drop the next 3 cases altogether, with prejudice, by the way, and be done with it, save the embarrassment, and then move to have Ms. Mosby just removed from her job because she has obviously used it as a political platform, as a podium to promote herself and not the best interests of the people of the city of Baltimore?
Well, if she doesn't drop this case, we're going to need to apologize for Michael Neifault. People may forget that in North Carolina, when a prosecutor decided that his own political ambitions were more important than the truth, and that he had gone so far as to tamper with evidence to do so, he ended up in jail. Now, we have allegations that the grand jury process was manipulated. We also have long-time reports that the senior investigators, that includes the coroner, that includes the lead detective, were given directives to declare that a felony occurred as opposed to unexplained circumstances. These cases should never have gone forward, and there were two critical reasons that they engaged in that I think have caused these cases to collapse.
And so you're suggesting at this, and we're with Horace Cooper, an adjunct fellow with the National Center for Public Policy Research, co-chair of Project 21. You think that Marilyn Mosby may well have committed a crime then, and if she did manipulate the investigators and the coroners and the other people involved that spoke in front of testified, frankly, in front of the grand jury, she should face charges. She should face jail time.
We absolutely have to hold our prosecutors to the highest standards. And one lesson every American should understand is a criminal trial is not a fact-finding opportunity. You don't have a trial just to find out, quote, the truth. You have a trial because you have a reason to believe that a crime has actually occurred. You don't have a trial.
And a reasonable belief that you can prevail at trial, correct?
That's correct. That's correct. You don't have a trial because the crowd is agitated. You don't have a trial because it's election time and you have ambitions to become mayor or some other higher office. Those are abuses of office. Now, even if you're not being ambitious, you're not manipulating the political situation, as a prosecutor, you have a duty to pursue justice and the truth. And that means
for everyone.
You don't manipulate
for everyone, Horace.
That's for everyone.
That's right. I have to leave it right there. It's truth for everyone, not just some political group you might favor. Horace Cooper, great conversation.
Thanks for having me on.
There you have it. Horace Cooper, everybody, right here on The Steve Gruber Show.